5. It's dark, cold as our drafty ranch-style houses want to be, and I can't sleep. As an insomniac from way back, this isn't unusual. What was odd was the sight that greeted me when I reached the end of the hallway. My feet slapping against the freezing tile, my tiny hand trailing along the same sherbet-colored wall that I had lost my balance against on my strawberry shortcake tricycle. 2 eyes, looking up and out at me like an old man peering over his reading glasses at an irritation. Then, short, eggplant rinsed hair, my mother, her dark arms akimbo, legs intertwined with a man, some man, not my father. I told. My parents eventually separated and then divorced a couple years later. They did a good job of keeping the fallout away from my little sister and me, though I've always felt a bit responsible for their split. But it was bound to happen. It wasn't just the cheating, though I think there was plenty of it. My mother just didn't seem to be cut out for the whole mothering thing. Self-interest often seemed to win out over responsibility, like the day that I returned home from morning kindergarten and she wasn't there. I peed in the backyard, careful not to splash my pastel-colored Wednesday undies, then rode with Cindy the bus driver while she made her afternoon circuit, praying that Mommy would be there when we stopped again. We returned 3 hours later to find my sister on her pink big wheel out front, my mother inside. Daddy got custody on account of his steady job as a computer tech and the top-notch suburban school district where we lived. Even at 9 years old, I knew that it was a good decision, choosing to bow out of the meetings of the divorced kid club that school counselors tried to force me to attend. Courts are reluctant to separate kids from their mothers, but Daddy was doting, tireless, and loving. He was a natural if over-solicitous father, staying up all night with an ear to my chest when asthma threatened to send us to the ER, running red lights all the way in our blue Ford Taurus station wagon, checking behind doors when I was convinced that Freddy Krueger was going to pirouette out and slash me to pieces, and even playing romantic advisor when I retreated from my unstable on-again, off-again college boyfriend. But it wasn't always easy. He had to drag Lena and me along on countless late-night calls when a mainframe broke down in the over-air-conditioned basement of some darkened school. And he struggled with the decision to have me let myself in after class, the first latchkey kid in my group of friends, proudly wearing my 2 slivers of metal on a woven lanyard around my neck. And then came the day that gig turned out not to be so steady. He and hundreds of others were laid off like so many expendable space monkeys. Subcontracting work followed, but it didn't pay the same way that mandatory overtime did, and we lived without health insurance for years. But he held us together with his trademark earnestness. I asked Daddy what it was like being a man under pressure to mold 2 girls, 2 ladies. "You always look back and think that you could have done more," was his reply. He wishes he'd been better at communicating with us about all things girly, and regrets that he couldn't give us everything we wanted on his single income. But he was always creative in fatherhood. He subscribed to Essence to keep aspirational Black women in our home, even if they were just on our mirrored coffee table. He paid a lady to do our hair every other week so we wouldn't be bully bait. And he kept our older girl cousins around as surrogate moms who accompanied us on back-to-school clothing shopping excursions. Seeing my daddy in action taught me the greatness that men, fathers, are capable of. And it would be nothing short of self-sabotage to stray away from the pure light that I felt from him, having felt it on my face and soaked it into my spirit.